Good morning, Raz. Welcome back to Will's Cartomancy Tarot. What I'd like to do is to go on and address your concern as it relates to you being a musician and what you really can expect or perhaps how you can really use your creative abilities to kind of ensure success. So, what I'm going to do today is I decided to go on and use my tarot deck, and Raz has already illustrated. These are the cards that were pulled. Okay. So let's go on and get started, and I'm going to go on and just examine. Basically, this is a self-portrait type reading, and it's going to give you some advice on what might be required of you to ensure success, as it relates to you being a musician, okay? Let's go on and get started. I'm Ras by looking at the card that fell to the bottom of the deck here. We have the Tower. Okay. So, Ras, this card is all about, destruction and revision. And it shows rearrangement of basic elements in order to kind of see or create something new. Okay. So, like like your beats and what you're trying to do. So, scrapping a project perhaps and even starting from scratch is usually associated with this card, or going back to the basics in some sense, or the urge in some sense to kind of start over, or a decisive or action taken despite consequences. And again, it shows a sense that you may have to start again from square one, and it may not be something that's highly desired or something that you will want. Okay. And it also shows that you might have to discard old approaches and tried and true ways of kind of thinking. So what I'm kind of feeling here is that your situation has produced or will produce a sudden or strong insight or a change in your typical way of kind of thinking that may fling you into new action, I'm feeling, or cause you to kind of change your course of direction. I feel that plans presently inherent in your situation will likely be changed dramatically or may even have to be aborted, okay? Additionally, Ross, I'm feeling that your situation has within it the possibility even of burnout and or destruction of previous work, So it's there for a time to kind of what this card is saying, to kind of reevaluate kind of how to kind of take care of yourself and in fact examine your life, you know and it kind of shows to a sense that you might be a bit rigid in your kind of your thinking, or maybe isolating yourself from other people, or even in fact ignoring Ross problematic situations and in fact risky lifestyles. Okay, so this card could even represent, Ross, a creative breakthroughs and insights into problems, which the bolt, as you can see, of the lightning representing that, the flash of illumination. Um, Alternatively, Ross, I'm kind of feeling that dramatic events kind of bring about a change in attitude, or, in fact, dismantle disillusions. And Ross, what I'm feeling too is it's kind of also quite plausible that you might have been kind of cut loose from an employment situation, I'm feeling, or expectations of, I'm just feeling this sense of also when you're having this card of a sense of being kind of cut loose, that perhaps maybe you really didn't like. And perhaps this might have, even left you feeling a bit disoriented and confused, but it can also open your life, Ross, to new opportunities. So, what I'm feeling is that this card is kind of telling you that the direction you've been on might not be the best as it relates to your musical situation, and the disruptions are therefore needed to kind of put you back on a rightful path that I'm kind of getting with this card. And it feels to me that things are in fact going to happen suddenly, and the way that you've been doing your music, or perhaps, Ross, your musical career, maybe it seems like it needs to kind of be rethought or restructured. Okay, so, since this card refers to, really acts of God that usually come across, and other forces usually that are usually beyond our control, and because, Ross, a crises might have already happened or might be already unfolding, this card is kind of advising you to kind of be flexible and go where the energy is really taking you. presumably, Ross, because your life has been in need of a new direction, I'm feeling, as it relates to this, your musical situation. This card is also telling me that a sense of abandonment and a concern about the lack of business or money might have caused you to feel too that you may have made a mistake. But I feel that you're going to try to take a positive point of view and kind of wait for the final verdict. So and I'm kind of seeing you discussing finances or either contracts, I'm feeling, with someone in an effort to kind of, I'm feeling, correct. It looks like corrects, I'm feeling correct money that is, or collect money that perhaps is owed to you. Or in fact, maybe readjust a contractual agreement or restate funding, or maybe get, paper articles in some sense back. I'm feeling that there might even, Ross, be a delay or file up with money matters or contractual agreements, but the receipt of a certain letter, I'm feeling, it looks like it's going to tilt the scales in your favor. But a new business, I'm feeling, opportunity seems to be coming your way. So this card is kind of telling you to try to kind of remain calm in the face of unexpected changes or even assaults, and listen to the inner voice that assures you that everything is certainly going to be all right. Okay, let's go on and get moving and get started with your first card. Here we have that Queen of Cups. So since you have a Queen of Cups appearing here, you might need to kind of consider the role perhaps of a certain person, I'm feeling, or with some thought, perhaps you might even know who this person is, and it's probably more than likely a water type sign. Okay, and that's Cancer, Pisces, and or Scorpio. You know, in your work, I'm feeling, and I need to kind of consider how this woman, and it could be a man too, it doesn't have to be a female, impacts, your job satisfaction. This queen might also refer to, or kind of shows that this person has a very emotional side to them. And this card shows that you, in fact, have the ability to kind of understand the feelings of others involved in this musical situation, and you can certainly convey that understanding in such a compassionate and knowing way, uh, very compassionately, and really kind of knowing that others will listen and kind of make use of the information that perhaps, Ross, that you will be presenting um, to them, that I'm kind of feeling as I'm kind of getting here, when it comes to you, you know. It also shows that it looks like that you might even be worried in some sense of the success of your musical work, because maybe results, Ross, have been or are inconclusive, or you're not aware of the whole situation or kind of seeing the entire picture. So you'll want the work that you do to kind of mean something, I'm feeling, or to have the value for others, and or I'm feeling you'll want to kind of enlist the aid of another, and it could be this water sign person. Okay, I'm also feeling too that you're going to have the opportunity, I feel, to branch out into new and different areas. And I see that more messages are and invitations are forthcoming. It seems like the energy is surrounding you than usual. Some of which were very uplifting, I'm feeling. But I do see problems on the home front, Ross. So keep your attitude in check. But I do see you are attracting a lot of money, favors, assistance, or even leverage. And you're going to attract a lot of attention. And I feel that you're going to definitely, despite what you may be thinking, you're going to be sought out both professionally and personally. And I feel that you're going to definitely become all things to all people. And I see you kind of inheriting further discussions, or application or help on a project. Or you're going to be receiving some assistance in solving a breakdown or a problem. And also, perhaps, I'm kind of feeling the arrival of someone who thinks he or she can kind of market your ideas or even, in fact, sell your product. But what you have to understand, Ross, is that people might not get your concepts or see things the way that you do, but you won't be left out in the cold, because, again, I'm feeling that someone is going to come to your aid or give you the opportunity to utilize some of your skills or talents. And understand, Ross, that there's a tremendous spiritual force present, which is causing your inner hearing to increase. And in time, Ross, what you couldn't see before and feeling, it certainly is going to be clearly, and explicitly revealed. So try to use your charm, Ross, or your persuasion and whatever resource that's available to you, and then let the cosmic forces kind of direct your course or kind of reveal that which is hidden. And in time, Ross, you're going to certainly see that your prayers have in fact been answered. Okay, let's move right along to your situation here. We have the Wheel of Fortune. And Ross, this card is all about cycles and fluctuations, and you know, a what kind of goes around comes around type feeling when you're seeing this card, and really a random strategy or approach in order to kind of achieve, Ross, different results. So a sense of kind of deja vu or anticipating the future based on past experiences, and really assessing risks is, are normally associated when you're kind of seeing this card. So therefore it certainly says that your situation offers a strong possibility of abundance in financial or in emotional prosperity, and you have a chance to kind of reconsider and reframe the whole situation, understanding, Ross, that its complexities or possible consequences more, you know, because there seems to be an element of gambling, perhaps some chances that might be kind of taking are not those that you should, okay? Additionally, I'm also feeling that, because this card kind of reminds you that things change. And so it's wise to kind of live in a manner, Ross, that is accommodating of change. And I'm feeling that rigidity and resistance to change often lead to a harder fall. So practice, adaptability, versatility, humor, usually are good things to kind of have, associated when you're kind of doing what you're trying to do. And there are some, life changes over which you got to understand that we have very little control. So what this card is saying is that the time really appears ripe to kind of reach out for more, even if you have to kind of extend yourself, you know. So it's like it's somewhat, or it kind of asking you to kind of take on a challenge or take a chance and kind of spin the wheel, if you will, because this card kind of, Ross, assures you that you can kind of come back to the places where you've been before, but as a changed person with a new outlook and perhaps deeper understanding that I'm getting. And this card is asking you to use this awareness to kind of rectify old problems, mistakes, and kind of make up for missed opportunities. Okay? So basically, this card certainly gives you a second chance, and it shows that you want information or insight to kind of, or even pin something down or to kind of resolve a dilemma I'm feeling. And I feel that you're going to definitely make some profit, but your work will still be unsatisfactory, and new elements will indeed make it necessary to effect changes or make new arrangements. I feel that you're going to certainly have fluctuating moods and find it very hard to kind of keep your emotions under control. However, Ross, whether you kind of see it coming or not, I feel that this problematic situation that you kind of feel yourself in is about to end. And I feel that definitely a new cycle is going to commence, followed by the arrival of some very important news or information. And I see you making permanent changes, a change for the better, but situations again still will be out of your control, and your intuition will probably be right. So this card is kind of telling you to get ready for, you know, a new way of life, when you're kind of seeing that card there. And again, it's also a very, very positive card. And it's about to commence. And it's telling you, too, that really what's really happening in your life will soon turn into something much better. Because this apparent havoc is actually the beginning of a new order, Ross, which in fact was destined to commence at this time. And if events had not convened in just this way, you'd still be where you were, and you'd miss the turn of fortune that kind of fate has in store for you. So don't get stuck on plans, and letting things go the way they will in fact bring good fortune. Okay, let's move on, Ross, to your next card here. We have the Eight of Wands card. And this is all about your approaches and your attitude. And this card is, in fact, as you see the speed of these rods there, it's all about acceleration and rapid change, or planned or unplanned, or moving from one chore to another without time to kind of think, you know, or emphasizing in fact the need to haves over the nice to haves in order to kind of move in order to kind of move quickly or move through a project more completely. Okay, so this card says that although you've brimming with new ideas, you know, you might need to take care not to kind of get so carried away that you lose your perspective. You know, that you not make too hasty a decision or not rush ahead without thoughtful deliberation. So this card is kind of asking you too, what's the big hurry? Again, this card says you need to probably gather your energies and resources, then kind of focus on them, on the object, you know, that you're trying to kind of launch. And of course, we notice that that's your music type things that you're doing. Because the timing is right to kind of once again put things into action here and kind of proceed quickly, but in an orderly and deliberate manner to ensure your plans and projects unfold as you will want them to. Okay? So, Ross, try to think about how your actions will affect the sequence of events leading into the future so that you'll be kind of prepared for all contingencies. This card even might be a good time, or maybe telling you that it also might be a good time for you to travel and send messages. You know, because I'm kind of feeling that you're going to be very enterprising and really can expect good fortune. And I'm feeling that Southern progress or boom is approaching you. I feel that you are, it's in fact, approaching your goal, and your affairs are, unfortunately, are not going to be completely set, decided, or determined. And this card is telling you try not to be anxious about your future because the universe knows what things that you are in need of, and what you want has already been established, and you're going to be led right into it, or it's going to come to you. So try to take more responsibility, initiative, or accountability for results. In fact, leave home if necessary, or do some shopping around, and don't be afraid to kind of take a chance or make yourself more available to others. Because I'm feeling that things are going to be, in fact, set in motion, though still not settled and grounded. But these new conditions, Ross, will eventually kind of, really lead to success. So let's go on to your next card here. We have the Hierophant. Okay, and this is your blind spot. So keeping up appearances or standards and faith, this is what this card is all about. And this card is a reminder to kind of step outside of routine and try something new. And really, refusing to kind of be confined by standards or the way that it's always been done. So, Ross, could it be that others might see you as as probably a role model or either a teacher, and you don't notice it? Perhaps you can kind of pass useful values or tradition on to those who need or desires such structures. Okay. So also, I'm feeling too, you might want to try to find ways, to kind of invoke customs or design new, systems that create bonds with others, you know. And I'm feeling that although you may have, run against, unforeseen obstacles in the past, I'm feeling that you're soon going to find a better opportunity. And it seems that it's something more in line with what you kind of want, or through perhaps a different source than that which perhaps was in fact previously established. So this card is urging you or saying to you that it's really better to endure suffering or abstention than to kind of be in a position where you're going to have to compromise or compromise yourself or even in fact your values. And really, if your mind is kind of filled with all the things Ross it's thinks it wants and needs, there really can be no room for betterment. You know, so really, for the higher to kind of enter, some of the debris must in fact be cleared away. So you need to try to let go of your attachments to the past or feelings of loss or your old routine and kind of move into the new and unknown. Because that's where I'm feeling that you're going to find, your opportunities. Okay. And last but not least, we're going to go on and examine your last card, which will provide you, shows your action and things that you might need to consider. We have the Nine of Wands there. So it shows a sense that you're going to be upset that you have no choice but to wait before efforts bear fruit. But this nine is all about achievement and, in fact, reaching a goal, but exhausting everyone else in the process or being on the lookout for anything that kind of threatens the fulfillment of your plan. or even defending a project or a decision. So it suggests that if you are feeling fenced in, Ross, the feeling is one of your own making rather than being inherent in your situation. So try to examine why this kind of situation invokes feelings of being trapped. You have enough strength to kind of go up against obstacles. And you'll definitely make money at your craft. So stay on purpose with, I'm feeling with what, with your intentions and what you want. And Mike, Ross, I'm sorry, if you don't succeed at first, try again and dust yourself off. Refuse to be beaten by life, and you won't be. So there's certainly no getting your way around it. You're going to have to wait for the final prognosis. So, Ross, this is what I have for you as it relates to your career. This is a very detailed reading that I gave you. So, I look forward to hearing your comments and do enjoy your day. Thanks a lot.